Hello, we are mowerwise.com. In this video, we're going to show you the feature product of Greenworks 21-inch 13-amp corded electric lawn mower 25112. Hand-impelled push yard cutters have sunk far out nearly. Indeed, even the tiniest fix of grass roll in from a revolving trim from an electric yard trimmer, and anybody with a medium estimated nursery or bigger is probably going to pick an oil cutter. Lawn trimmers have been utilized to keep up gardens for more than 10 centuries. Throughout the years, innovation has seen various changes that have made it a lot simpler to use than the first form. In this article, we are going to enable you to comprehend the detailed description of yard trimmer. Yard cutter is a machine that uses a pivoting sharp edge or edges to cut a garden grass at an even stature or example. Grass trimmer structure has made some fantastic progress since the creation of the first one. 1. The innovative thrust reel mower. This is a conventional push garden cutter that was concocted in 1830. Push reel trimmers are an essential machine, the riggings of which turn a whirl of somewhere in the range of 5 and 8 winding formed edges that go by a stationary cutting edge at the back of the cutter. The two, cooperating, cut the pieces of sod to give a smooth, fine grass surface. 2. Gas-fueled self-impelled garden trimmers. These are probably the most prominent ones available. They require the client to fill the tank with gas usually, or the garden cutter won't work effectively and may even quit working partially through cutting the grass. They by and large have 4-stroke motors in them that are groundbreaking and range from 4 to 7 drive. The engines regularly require a manual dismantle wrench to begin the yard trimmer, even though some have a magnetic catch to push start the cutter. They, as a rule, have a throttle control that is situated on the handlebar that enables the client to control the speed of the motor. Bumpy cut mowers, outfitted with a heavier sharp edge that is extremely tough and intended to slice through thick material without backing off. Harsh slice cutters can even slice through little trees without issues. They are produced using sturdy, solid materials and for the most part, are extremely strengthened so that there aren't issues with the body being harmed during use. While these cutters work admirably evacuating a ton of thick and unpleasant grass from enormous regions in a rush, they are not going to give a similar clean look as other garden trimmers will. In any case, they are regularly the main choice for individuals who have a thick brush that they have to slice through, as they are the main alternative that is intense enough to deal with the activity. Time and exertion. A push grass cutter will be probably not going to contend on schedule whenever thought about to self-moved oil trimmer. In any case, you will most likely spare time on upkeep, and refueling takes no time by any stretch of the imagination, so except if you have long grass, there might be very little contrast. Thus it is determined that electric mowers are better. Now, with a proper survey, we found that Greenworks lawn mowers are best in the market. Let us know in detail about the product. Even though this current trimmer's capacity fails to measure up to other corded models, it has a lot of solidarity to cut the thickest gardens. You need to keep the edge sharp and perhaps push a piece more slow to cut the lush grass. There is no compelling reason to stress over decreased power on account of a withering battery. Slopes are generally not an issue. The trimmer can slow if you do. It gauges 54 pounds, which is about the heaviness of comparable gas and battery cutters. So if you can push one of them up your slope, you can do likewise with this model. Anybody with a smallish yard could utilize this cutter. The point of confinement is 150 inches from an electrical outlet, so you should quantify your yard to be sure this farthest point isn't a disqualifier. You ought to likewise consider any trees and different obstructions that might be between the outlets you will utilize and the further reaches of your grass. Ensure it won't be an over-the-top issue to trail the line around these articles and hover back around. If it is excessively, you can consider a battery-worked cutter or a customary gas model. Having an incredible looking yard is something that most mortgage holders yearn for. Being the jealousy of the square gratitude to your flawlessly prepared turf is motivation to be pleased in itself. However, you realize that there are a few reasons why it's imperative to get your garden cut all the time. As should be obvious, it's critical to stay aware of normal cutting on the off chance that you need an alluring garden, however a solid one also. One thing to remember, never have more than half of the stature of your grass cut at once, as this can harm the roots. After perusing this, you will have the option to choose if a corded cutter is directly for you. You will have a smart thought of how this specific model performs on different kinds of grass and gardens, and you will comprehend the stuff to keep it running, getting it done.